It's Triple H Central Hip Hop Hour on the beat, where we talk all things hip hop and R&B. I'm Gabe Schall.
I'm Nate Havrilla. I'm here. It's a nice fall day, and one thing that a day like this makes me want to do is talk about fall music.
Yeah. We talked about it a little bit last week, just briefly, like what albums kind of fit that vibe for us right now. But ever since we talked about it, I've kind of like more albums and more songs have like popped up in my head. So I thought maybe we could dedicate a whole episode to it, talk about things that kind of fit that fall energy. And I guess just to start, what is the fall energy, do you think?
I feel like for me, the fall energy it's almost like exactly the temperature. You know, it goes from that warm, like every day's exciting vibe to that more chill, cool, like relaxed type of vibe. Not as much. I feel like I listen to a lot less energy of songs. Like I don't listen to like Young Thug and Lil Baby and all those type of art. I mean, I still listen to them, but like it's much harder to sit there and enjoy surf when you look outside and it's gray and gloomy, you know?
Maybe some of the less hype Young Thug songs, like Peeping Out the Window or something I've been listening to recently.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, You Went, some of those good Young Thug songs, but I feel like I just like that more smooth. I feel like I transitioned to a lot more of R&B. And this isn't rap, but I listen to a lot of indie in the fall too. I'm a big indie fan. Yeah,
in the fall, I think part of it is like just the temperature like going down, but it's at a point where it's like cool but not cold, like the winter. It's kind of a sweet spot that at least in Michigan, it doesn't. I feel like true fall doesn't stick around for very long. Like it gets too cold really fast. And so it's a nice like middle ground there where you can still enjoy being outside, and while you're outside, the visuals are really, really nice. You know, you have the trees changing colors, and so I think it's just a very like vibey, like almost melancholy but not necessarily sad type of vibe that fall has. And I think the music that I listen to kind of reflects that.
Yeah, and for me, the other thing that fall represents is nostalgia. I always, in high school, I always loved the fall. It was my favorite time of the year. You had homecoming and Friday night football, and I ran cross country, which was fun, and just getting to be with all my friends again in school. For me, I don't know, I always just loved the fall, and I felt like it brought me some of my best memories. So a lot of the time when I listen to fall music, I aim for that nostalgic, what I used to listen to. Especially like my junior and senior year of high school when I was driving and listening to my own music, and you had a lot of classics like the Melodic Blue and stuff like that dropping. It was just I always just find myself listening to those albums and what reminds me of those times when I'm in the fall.
Yeah, Family Ties feels like a very like fall song for whatever reason. And even though like it's a very like hype song, it's kind of just about like the time that it came out and the time that people were listening to it. Yeah. I even think it might have dropped in the summer.
I think it dropped in Family Ties was a lead single.
Yeah, it was a single. But,
so yeah, it definitely...
But it was like popping off throughout that entire year. So I definitely remember like being in the car with my friends and like listening to it and just like loving that song and getting so much out of it. So that was really cool. So yeah, sometimes songs like that and albums like that, like they're not even necessarily in that like melancholy vibe that we were talking about, but they're just kind of nostalgic. Yeah. I guess kind of an album or two for me that kind of fit in that category. College Dropout and Late Registration, especially Late Registration, I think has like that more like kind of laid back production, more like orchestral, more like focused on like the beauty of it, I guess, in the production, and less focus on like being hard. You obviously still have stuff like Gold Digger, which is kind of meant to be a banger, and it is. And you have stuff like Touch the Sky, which is more like bombastic, but you also have stuff like Drive Slow, like Hey Mama, and I think that stuff like fits that fall vibe perfectly.
Definitely.
Like it's cool, it's chill, like you can imagine like maybe driving to it or walking around like with the sun setting, and you just have that cool crisp air about, and yeah, so I think those albums definitely fit that vibe for me.
Yeah.
And especially in stuff like Hey Mama, that kind of has like that nostalgic, like almost sad vibe. I mean, especially like listening to it. It's a song that Kanye wrote for his mom, and listening to it after like he lost his mom,
Yeah.
it definitely has a sadder vibe to it, but it's also a happy song. It's intended to be a love letter to her. So it's both at the same time. And yeah, I think that fits that fall vibe for sure.
Definitely.
And also just like the vibe of the album cover, I think helps with that. Like the dark like brown color really fits fall, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And Kanye's just I think he's a great fall artist. I mean, even his most popular like Flashing Lights and
Yeah.
really like all those big songs are such great fall songs. Like I feel like one thing about fall is you really appreciate what's around you. At least that's how I've always liked the beauty of everything. The trees look pretty, the sky looks pretty, the weather's pretty.
Yeah.
Like I just love the fall. And it's like that with those old Kanye songs where it's just like you appreciate everything about it. And I feel like that type of production heavy type of rap is really good in the fall. One album that I find myself coming back to in the fall is I feel like this album is half like fall, half summer. Flower Boy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one.
I feel like a lot of it, you get that summer vibe, like Where This Flower Blooms, See You Again, like Boredom. But you also get stuff like November and Glitter and
Garden
911,
Shed.
Mr. Lonely, Garden Shed. There's so many great like songs that's perfect for just like, it literally feels like this album switches from summer to fall. Like it's this time period where it's going from that warm, beautiful sound to more of that like colder, but I guess still beautiful, but still beautiful sound. And another Tyler album, I mean, this kind of points to the nostalgia thing, is Chromacopia.
Yeah.
That was just such a great fall album. Every time I listen to it, I'm reminded of how it felt outside, and it was like 3 days before Halloween. So like I remember listening to it while walking around on Halloween last year, and I think like it's just a great like nostalgic, fun album to listen to and during this time.
And we're coming up on the 1 year anniversary of Chromacopia, which is cool. And yeah, I think that album has aged really well. And I think like even with like the cover art with that more like I don't know what to call it, like the kind of like melancholy vibe that it has, I think fits fall. And yeah, you get songs like Hey Jane, like Judge Judy, that I think fit like him, that like fit fall really well. But also yeah, just the time they came out last year I think fits it. And also like going back to Flower Boy, I think like sunflowers like bloom like right in between fall, or right in between summer and fall. So I think that like all those sunflowers on the cover and just like the bees flying around and everything, like, and just the whole sound of that thing, I think really fits that, almost that transition. But like you were saying, I mean, there's parts that fit both in summer and fall. And yeah, I think that's a really, really good pick. Other stuff like with that similar vibe, I'm listening to a little bit of like Aquemini by Outkast. Rosa Parks came on earlier, and I was like, man, this is like the perfect vibe for this fall day. Stuff like Live Love ASAP.
Yes.
Has that kind of like almost floaty, like maybe like it's got like the slowed down samples and stuff like that.
Smoked Away My Brain and stuff. Get Lit. Houston Old Head is a classic. If you haven't heard that one, which it's a great one. It's probably one of my favorite ASAP songs. I was never like huge on ASAP until recently because my girlfriend's a big fan of his. And like the more I discover, I'm like, whoa, this sounds really good. This sounds really, I don't know how I never tapped in more, but yeah, I feel like so much of his music, I feel like even the whole like album cover, just that gray and gray, black and white vibe, like it's just perfect for those fall vibes, fall feelings, fall nights, everything like that.
Yeah, I think Sandman, the last track on that album, is like one of the best like nighttime songs I know. Like I don't know, just something about the melody in that song is just so like evocative of something, and it's almost like nostalgic and sad at the same time. It's a really cool sound that he goes in that album, and I think part of it is like kind of the lo-fi sound and like the production, like songs like Bass, like it almost like sounds bad, like just with like how like low and like kind of hard to hear like the beat is, but it feels intentional. Like I don't know, and I think that part of that might be connected to like the fall vibe a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's kind of a interesting thing there, because we were talking about like kind of lush production fitting when also like the lo-fi production fits. So yeah, I don't know what it is, but
me neither.
There's something about that album really works during this time.
Speaking of ASAP, quick jump away from the fall vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw, I'm assuming you did, but he was like, "No, I'm not talking about album release dates" when he was asked about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. If you're not aware, A$AP Rocky has been teasing a new album for a long time, and I think it was supposed to come out like October of last year. So it's been delayed over a year now. I mean, it's been since what, 2017, 2018?
2018 testing.
Since testing came out. So there's been a lot of desire for a new A$AP Rocky album, and he's been dropping singles. Some of them have latched on to people, some of them haven't. And it feels like he's really just testing the waters and kind of like almost afraid to drop his album.
Yeah, I know.
Because I think he's seeing like people from his generation and also so many of his idols like drop bad albums, or like kind of fading out in their careers, and I think he's afraid of that happening to him. At least that's where I imagine myself in his shoes. That's kind of how I would feel, and maybe he's not super confident in the music that he has, because I don't know why else he would delay it so much.
Yeah.
And now he's at the point where he's saying like, it's coming when it's coming, like I'm not telling you when it's coming out.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that point. I feel like he's just a little afraid to drop. I mean, you had like Pray for the Gang, and that
kind of
really,
underwhelming.
Yeah, no one really cared.
It was I think it was an Apple Music exclusive for like a day, and like I don't understand that as a decision.
No one, like, it didn't get enough streams or anything like that. I think Hijack Right Back.
I like that song.
It did pretty well.
I really like Ruby Rosary with J. Cole. I thought that when that came out, I was like, okay, like this album's like coming, right? Like that was a crazy song. Him and J. Cole on that Alchemist production, like crazy.
Yeah, and it's just been so random. Like, I don't know. I just want him to do something. You know, it's like that one meme where they poke him with the stick.
Yeah.
Like, come on, do something. I mean, I guess, he's having his kid and stuff like that. So
I think that's definitely part of it. He had his whole trial.
And that too. Yep.
So I think that's part of it. But at a certain point, like, I'm sure he's made so much music, and I'm sure it could be mixed and mastered and put out by now. But yeah, I mean, I think part of it's just a lot of hesitation from not wanting to, like, quote unquote go out sad like so many other people are doing. And I mean, I think that's a fair fear as an artist, but also like we've seen so many people like drop less than stellar albums and then come back with an amazing one. Like I think Future is a great example of that. Like he's someone who like some of his albums aren't really up to his standard as an amazing rapper, but I don't think he lets that stuff get to him. Like when something's not received the best, like he just comes back and makes something way better. But A$AP Rocky isn't really someone like Future that just like makes constantly makes music. Like you can tell he really thinks about everything for a long time before he puts it out. And I think he's just thinking too hard about this one. It's been so long, like there's so much pressure put on it. I wouldn't want to be in that position. So I understand, I guess, but I would like to hear something from him, you know?
I feel like the difference between like a Future and an A$AP is for Future. His albums, I would say people are more going on there looking for hits. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this song is really good, but maybe the album's not as good, but we don't care because these few songs are great.
Yeah.
Whereas A$AP Rocky's listening base is more of, this has to be the most perfect, beautiful piece of art ever. Which I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, no, it doesn't matter. It can be mid and be... But, like, I think that's also just part of it. I mean, there's no reason for Future to be afraid because he knows he's going to get the plays. He's going to be fine. He's going to have hits regardless because he's just that talented. And A$AP, I think, is more of like that complete project art type of person.
I think it's really just about confidence, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and a certain amount of I think anxiety about your project coming out good is a good thing. You should have standards for yourself and want to get a good reception from your fans, but at the same time, you can't spend too long like thinking about, am I giving the fans exactly what they want? Because if you give the fans exactly what they want, then they're not going to be surprised. You know, they're not going to like, it's not going to break any new ground. It's not going to change anything as an album.
Mm-hmm.
And so that, like, you look at someone like Kendrick's career, like none of his albums have been like a repeat of the last album.
No.
They haven't been like going back to old sounds like sometimes, I mean, on like newer Drake projects, like For All the Dogs, like you'll get songs where he's like trying to go back to like that Take Care vibe. Like you don't see people like Kendrick doing that. And I think A$AP Rocky, I don't know what direction he's really going to go here. I don't know if he's going to go for that nostalgia vibe, like trying to make everyone happy type thing, or if he's really going for something experimental.
Mm-hmm.
Or if it's just going to be a middle ground, kind of like nothing surprising, nothing that great. I don't know.
And I felt like the couple of singles he's dropped recently, like they just weren't anything special. Like it was like, okay, that's pretty good, but it's not sitting there making me like, man, I'm so excited for him to just drop this album. It's gonna be so fire. Like, nah, I'm like, okay, yeah, cool, nice job, A$AP. But that's what people expect out of him. It's not that impressive.
Yeah, and I mean, on his albums, like, I don't think any of them are perfect. I think there's songs that aren't up to the standard on all of them. But I mean, I don't know. I think he kind of needs to pick something and release it. I think he probably has multiple visions for what the album could be, and I think he just needs to settle on something that he really likes. That he likes personally, and not worry so much about what everyone else is gonna like. But I don't know. Maybe we'll see that album at some point and be able to give it a review. But
hopefully, maybe it'll be past the time of Triple H. Apparently, the way he's talking,
he could be graduated by the time that comes out.
Yeah, he's gonna be like 43. Talking about, or I don't even know. He's probably past. We're gonna be like 43.
Yeah,
and like, no release date. No
and
release.
Baby Keem still will not have dropped either.
Yeah, Baby Keem will just be silent. At least Keem isn't like, like album soon and posting. Baby Keem's just like, it's like radio silence.
Yeah, he's in the cave like cooking.
Yeah.
I prefer that. I prefer that to someone like constantly dropping teasers and snippets, and you never know when it's gonna come out. Like that's what Tyler does too. Like he waits until like a week or 2 weeks before the album, and boom, like. You know it's coming out, you know the release date, you get a single or two, you get a snippet, and there's no nonsense. I like that kind of rollout. I don't like what Playboi Carti did with music. I think that was ridiculous. I don't like the delayed release dates and like, oh, we're still mixing it. I'm like, no, just announce it when it's done, please.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes it feel like cheap, you know? Like we're still mixing it the day before it's coming out. Like then it's not going to be perfect, you know, and you should want your album to be perfect when it's coming out. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there should be updates to it after it's come out. I think that's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a boomer opinion. Because, I mean, it's cool that you can do that with the digital era on streaming services. But if you're putting out an album, it should really be, like, you should have put a lot of thought into that. Like, you should think it's perfect or near perfect, like the best you can do right now.
And I mean, even like I feel like a test audience or something. Like,
Yeah.
have outside
Like,
listeners
play
to
it for your
critique.
friends.
Yeah, like you don't need to just have it be yourself.
Yeah.
Have other people listen to it and genuinely. I feel like one of Kanye's biggest problems is he surrounded himself with just yes men,
Mm-hmm.
and that makes it like now no one's critiquing his albums. It's
Absolutely.
just yeah, that's the one, and it's terrible. So, and I mean, there's simple issues like on Astroworld when it first dropped, how Nav's verse was like the worst quality ever for some reason. That's so simple. I don't understand how something like that you don't have like someone along the line be like, that mixing is terrible, and you have to wait until everyone else in the world is like laughing at you before you change it, you know?
And I think that's a polished album, but I also think with like maybe the workflow of people like Mike Dean and Travis Scott that something like that can slip by while they're still making decisions up until the album comes out.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a different like workflow that people have for making albums that I just don't quite understand. They just really like to feel it and like work up until the final hour where they're releasing the masters like 30 minutes before the album's supposed to be out. But I think the Nav thing was almost like it felt more like a mistake rather than like deliberately like not finishing it, you know what I'm saying? Whereas like something like Jack Boys 2, like the song Kick Out, I don't want you releasing a song and then reading the TikTok comments and changing it because they don't like it. I think that's ridiculous. Like they said like the 21 Savage ad-libs, there were too many or they were too loud, and so they released an update to the song and removed them. I'm just like, if
stick to your guns,
if you don't think this is the best version of the song, then don't release it.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
If I'm releasing a song and someone says that you should have done this, I should be disagreeing with them.
I should be like, no, I'm the
here's
one.
why
that's
I did it the way that I did it. I'm the artist, you're not. Like that's the attitude that I think an artist should have. I don't think they should be like caving to what fans want. I think the same thing goes for like releasing unreleased music that has been leaked just to please people. Like Young Thug did that on his deluxe of UI Scooty, and we haven't mentioned that at all on this show, but not a good album.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I listened through it and it had some hits, but it's kind of like that. Like there's gonna be hits, of course, especially like when you have a 21 Lil Baby Travis Scott feature. Like you know what you're gonna do right there. You've worked with them enough. But yeah, I don't know. And then he's like, oh, here's my Supernova remix,
and it's just like leaks that people wanted. Like Yes You Can, I think it was one of his most like coveted unreleased songs, and like it's a great song. I'm glad I can listen to it on streaming now, but that does not make your album better.
No,
like
I mean,
all you've done is like appease people, like shut them up a little bit so they stop talking about how mediocre your album is.
Yeah. Although, if Cardi ever drops Pissy Pamper, that will be my favorite album ever.
Yeah, true.
I think that's the best unreleased song of all time, in my opinion.
It's probably one of the most well-known ones, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
I mean...
Like, I feel like people, like, you could convince them it is released just because they've heard it so much.
Yeah, exactly. It's been on
stuff.
social media since... when I had TikTok in 2018, when I was in 7th grade, that's when I, first heard it. And because everyone would be like, they're trying to be crate, and they would
exactly,
and it was still fantastic then, and now I know I Am Music was probably our last ever chance at it, and we probably won't ever get it, but man, I would have loved to have that on an album at some point. I don't care about the critiques if he's just throwing it on there or needs clicks.
Here's the thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with releasing unreleased songs. I think tacking them onto an album that they have nothing to do with is weird, just to
That's
boost
fair.
the sales and
That's
attention.
fair.
Like if he released that as a single, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like yes, you're appeasing your fans, but you're not compromising the vision of your project to do it. Like it's out there so people can hear it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a totally valid thing to do, and I would love to hear that on streaming. And I think Cardi did kind of release some quote unquote unreleased songs as like a deluxe version of music.
Mm-hmm.
But those songs were like part of the music rollout.
Yeah.
And I think that's a little bit different.
Yeah, like he put them out himself on his Instagram and stuff like that. It was just never on Spotify
never on
or
streaming.
Apple Music.
And I don't know why, but he said, sorry for the wait. Here's songs that you should have already had.
Yeah.
And you know what? I really like those songs.
Yeah.
I like those songs better than the songs in the album. So
yeah, and there was like FOMDJ too.
Crazy song.
Never fully was like that, but people had heard, and
And I think with an album like that, it's a bit different because I don't know if music really had a vision per se.
No, I think that was
it was just a compilation of a lot of songs.
Yeah, here's me having fun. Like
Yeah.
that's all that was.
Yeah.
I feel like if it was like a whole lot of Red, like that would be a different story because I think that one had a lot more like connectivity and
it had a sound to it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know my thoughts on that album.
Mhm.
It changed rap, but
It did.
yeah, I mean, I think Pissy Pamper would have been a fantastic song, and that's another song, like a fall song for me. I literally was just listening to it like a week ago. I was sitting there in my bed, and like I heard it in like in a video or something. I was like, bro, I haven't listened to this song in forever, and I threw it on, and I think I actually fell asleep to it.
Nice.
And
It
I
just
woke up.
soothed you.
I woke up in the middle of the night with like some random Cardi song blasting in my ear, and I was like, "Bro, what is happening right now?"
Yeah. That's one of the ones I have uploaded on my local files.
You're gonna have to teach me. I've been wondering how to do that. You're gonna have
Do
to,
you use Spotify or Apple?
Spotify.
Okay. It's different depending on which one you're on.
What do you?
I prefer it on Apple Music personally, but
Okay.
you can do it on Spotify.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many songs like on SoundCloud that I'm like, man, I just wish I didn't have to switch over and listen to this on SoundCloud instead of Spotify.
Yeah. That's one of the ones I have uploaded though. Also like some unreleased Kanye stuff. Like what is it? I don't remember. But so yeah, some stuff from like the Yandhi era, like that I just enjoy that never came out. Yeah, I don't know. Unreleased music is interesting. I think it's kind of dumb when artists like their songs get leaked and they're like, okay, I'm not dropping that.
Yeah,
now.
I agree.
I don't understand why people do that. Is it just out of spite? Like
maybe. I mean, I kind of get it. Like you work on something and it finds its way out. Like yeah, that's frustrating.
It's definitely frustrating. I just like.
We want to hear it.
I know. Like personally, like when I'm making music, I'm like, this stuff is like incredible. Like and if it got leaked per se, I was this huge artist and it got leaked, I would still want it out because I'm proud of it. You know? And I don't know. This isn't a hip hop artist really, but FKA Twigs, she's kind of like makes like experimental like pop music. She her whole like next album got leaked like a year or two ago, and she just scrapped the whole thing. Like she never released any of it. She was like, okay, I'm starting over. And I think it was to deter people from ever doing that again, which I understand to a degree, but like, man. And I think her next album suffered for it because it sounded like she kind of made it in a year. And I don't think it sounded as polished as her other albums. And yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't get why people just cancel their music if it gets leaked.
I don't know.
Especially when people are enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's like, you have a successful album or a successful song in your hands. Why not just put it out?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Back to the fall discourse. You know, we just talked about him, Cardi. I think he's got a lot of great fall music. He makes such great like chill, vibey music. Location, long time, place.
I think self-titled and like Dial It are like the ones for fall.
For sure. I feel like self-titled especially, I mean, you have like Lookin' and Half and Half and stuff like that are all good, and Mileage, No Time, stuff like that off Dial It, classics, and just great to listen to when you're in the fall. And especially I feel like the fall night when it's like cool and like that's the best time to really throw on some music, because when it's sunny out and like especially on a day like today, like it's still pretty warm out, you know?
Is, yeah.
So it's hard to kind of throw something on and be like, oh, fall music. But when it hits night and you really feel the fall, that's when it's like, okay, yeah, this is hitting right now.
For sure. And I think like what's different about like Cardi's music back then from like other music now is like it's meant to be hard and it's meant to be cool, but I feel like it's not production wise, it's like not hitting you as hard as like it does now. Like those kicks aren't as driven up and like aren't as like punchy, and like the 808s aren't as distorted. And I think like that's kind of what sets it apart from like other stuff for me and makes it fit in that fall vibe. It's a little bit softer while at the same time being like still like trap music, you know?
Yeah, and I forgot to mention Flex too.
Yeah.
That's one of his best songs. It's beautiful and yeah, another just fantastic.
Yeah, and speaking of like softer trap music, this is actually an album that I didn't listen to until fairly recently for whatever reason. In Future's catalog is Save Me. It's a, I think 7-track, I guess you could call it an EP. I feel like it kind of doesn't get talked about much in his catalog. But man, like this has a completely different sound from him. Like it's kind of in that similar to something like Hendrix maybe, where it's a bit like more sad. But like mixing wise and like just the production on it, it's very like lush and like dark. If you haven't heard it, I would definitely recommend it. He's kind of like more in like his singing vibe, but you also have like hard songs on there. While still being in that kind of like melancholy, like almost spooky, sad type of thing. And I think that gets into another conversation about like the fall vibe music, which is Halloween. That's a whole nother aspect of fall, which is the scariness, you know, the scariness of it all. And also like, it's so weird because I feel like Halloween, like Christmas time is different. Like from like Thanksgiving to Christmas, like that's Christmas time. Like it feels like Christmas almost.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't feel like fall feels like Halloween until like the actual day, you know?
I mean, yeah, I kind of agree. It's just kind of like that cold, spooky weather. I think like the day before is also pretty like carving pumpkins and stuff like that is fun, and getting your costume together and stuff like that. But yeah, it is a little bit weird because like right now, I mean, we're 2 weeks out from fall, and
it doesn't feel like Halloween.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel spooky. And I feel like part of Halloween is also like partying, you know, like raging a little bit. So it's very different than the rest of fall, I think. And the album that comes to mind for that vibe specifically is Rodeo by Travis Scott.
Really?
I think like a song like Nightcrawler, it just sounds like a Halloween song, you know, like Nightcrawler. Like and just the vibe of that song, that's a Halloween song if I've ever heard one. I mean, it doesn't sound like spooky, scary skeletons, but you know, it just has that vibe, like that kind of very menacing sound that I think Travis Scott does really well. So I think that song is a good specific like Halloween type vibe song. But the vibe of the album as a whole, I think fits stuff like Impossible, like fits that vibe. I think Antidote would work for that. Because it's just like, it's very dark trap music. And I think that makes it different than like maybe stuff you might want to listen to in the summer. You know?
Yeah, I agree. And I think another thing is like Igor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like
for sure.
New Magic Wand and Gone Gone Thank You. I think those are all great Halloween music, like Halloween songs. I think like Ghost Town is another.
Oh, yeah.
Is another
that's a
good
fall
like,
song right there.
It makes you think of Halloween and spooky.
And I think a similar vibe to that I was listening to earlier, Lithonia by Childish Gambino. It's not really a hip-hop song. It's more just like kind of a pop rock thing, but he's by a hip-hop artist, so we got to shout it out. But yeah, I think that fits this vibe really well.
Definitely. I think one song, I don't know if you relate to this, but one song that always brings me back to like fall of 2019 is 223s by YNW I don't know if you remember that song. It was like, what do you want from me?
Yeah, it sounds familiar. I wasn't listening to that at that time, but
it was just like everyone used to make TikToks to it, and I just remember, like I said earlier, with just that whole nostalgia vibe. Like, I just remember that specific feeling of, like, just watching all these people from my high school, like, doing the dance and everything like
Yeah.
that. And we used to have at my high school, we used to have a ropes course that
Oh,
was
really?
outside.
That's
And
cool.
there was a class that, like, only freshmen could take called, like, transitions. And it was, like, this class that was just, like,
It's
you
like a
did
blow-off
nothing.
class,
Yeah, pretty
yeah.
much. So a ton of people were in it. I didn't get to take it. My parents wouldn't let me. But I remember they would all just like be outside making TikToks and stuff like that. And yeah, they would all dance to that song. And I was just like, oh man, like it's so cool. And I just remember loving that song. So if anyone else out there remembers that, yeah, follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, that very specific memory.
Yeah,
if
hopefully
you were there.
Hopefully I like reminded you of the song and you're like, oh wow, I haven't
Yeah.
listened to that song since
Yeah.
2019, you
Yeah.
know? So
Shout
yeah.
out YNW Melly.
You know, I wouldn't shout him out. Yeah. Cool.
Well, I don't know how he's doing, but
Yeah, me neither.
mention to YNW
Yeah,
Melly. He's
mention.
been mentioned.
I was never a huge fan of his, honestly.
I know there's one song I've heard from him a lot, but I can't even remember the name. He had one with Kanye, right?
Yeah. It was Butter Pecan.
Butter Pecan?
I think so. Was that?
I
No.
don't think that's it.
White coat for the pecans. No, it was
Mixed Personalities.
Yes,
Yeah. That one.
That one.
That personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an interesting one. I remember listening to that in like 8th grade and
Yeah.
thinking it was good, and like
That's definitely an 8th grade type song.
came
Yeah.
on like every time it would come on after that, like it was always just like, oh, skip.
Yeah.
I-
Murder on My Mind. That's the one that everyone knows.
That's the classic, which it's kind of funny, you know.
Yeah, in hindsight.
That's what got him wrapped up.
Yeah.
Another locked up artist that reminds me of fall is Tay-K.
Never listened to him.
I was always in like 6th grade when I first started listening to rap. I heard The Race, and I like loved it. And for some reason, like I've always just loved Tay-K's music. Obviously, he did some horrible stuff. I feel almost bad for him because he was like 14 when it happened. Like he clearly just was not in the right place at like. I just wish someone could have been there to actually help him and not have him do that when he was so young. But he made some pretty good music, and I think he's locked up for like another 100 years. So we probably won't ever get another Tay-K song. But yeah, for some reason, that's always been some of the fall music I listen to. And on the opposite end of the spectrum is Mac Miller. I've always listened to a lot of Mac Miller. Circles, I've talked about it before.
Yeah.
One of my favorite sad albums ever. And while the fall doesn't make me sad, I feel like it gives that vibe of just like that slow, you know, Circles, literally. Like, I feel like fall is such a good reminder of like, oh, well, here comes the new year. Like, it's that, for me, obviously, the year ends in the winter and starts in the winter, but
Yeah.
it's like school years for me. Like the fall starts the year, summer ends the year. Like that's just how my brain has always processed it. So we're swimming in circles, you know, and that's always just been something that stuck with me of his. And the fall just really is like that reminder of, well, here comes the next year in my life that I'm getting older, you know.
And I honestly, I look at like winter as like the end of the year, like the year's wrapping up. And I think that's an interesting thing to talk about, is like the finality in the music, maybe. I don't think fall really fits that, but like the winter vibe definitely. And I don't know if we're gonna make an episode about winter music. Maybe if we run out of ideas, you know. But
Yeah.
An album I was thinking about that's kind of like fall and winter for me is another Kanye, 808s and Heartbreak. That's like one of the sad albums, and like in the hip hop sphere, pretty revolutionary in terms of like how melodic rap took shape.
Yeah.
And I think like there's literally a song on it called Coldest Winter. So I think it probably fits in that winter vibe more, just because it's like mostly like pure sadness. But I do think like stuff like Heartless can like fit for fall. And I don't know. I listen to that album like year round just because it's so good. But Yeah, I think that fits that vibe of fall
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
a degree.
Yeah. For me, fall or like that winter, early winter, fall like area. Like when it starts getting really cold, but it like not too cold and no snow or anything yet.
Yeah.
It always kind of reminds me of Kanye because like my sophomore year of high school, during online school, I would listen to. It's like when I first started listening to like really listening to Kanye and like Kendrick and just all these like rappers that were kind of known. Like I always knew them as like legends, but I never really like listened to them because I would just listen to like the Rap Caviar type of stuff. Like I was just boring. But I started to really listen and enjoy that, and I would like just be outside playing basketball, listening to this stuff. So, I mean, it just reminds me of that, and like "Devil in a New Dress" is probably one of my favorite like winter songs. Me and my girlfriend love it. Like it's a great,
Beautiful song.
it's a beautiful. I think that's Kanye's best right there. He's either best or second best in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so. And another artist, I know I mentioned this a lot in our last episode, but I think the fall artist is Drake.
Yeah.
I think that he just makes so much good fall music for all the dogs, classic for fall. Like that's fall. If you don't listen to Virginia Beach and think
True.
like and don't get teleported back to fall of 2023, then I don't know.
I wish the rest of the album was on that level because that song's crazy. The Frank Ocean sample.
Yeah, I don't
man.
know how he got that.
Frank Ocean did something in music, and that's all that counts. We got to thank Drake for that. He cleared a sample.
I know of all people to have a Frank Ocean sample, I wouldn't expect it to be Drake.
But he cooked. He
did. He worked with that well. And I think there's a good few songs on there. You got like Amen with Tizo Touchdowns, another one that I always liked. Let's see. I really liked Bahamas Promises and Tried Our Best. At the time in 2023, like I was a little freshman here and had my first little heartbreak. Like I wouldn't even say heartbreak, but just like I was going through that time, and Drake drops this album where he's like, "Oh, well, I promised you all this stuff," and I'm like, "Oh, Drake, you're spitting."
That's what Drake's perfect for.
Yeah, he is. So I mean, 8 a.m. in Charlotte's a good one. Rich Baby Daddy's like the classic party song of that year that I always remembered. So I don't know.
It's very catchy. I don't know if I like it as a song, but I can't deny that it's very, very catchy.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like the SZA verse on it always. So
I really like Slime You Out from that album. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like people were kind of hating on it when it dropped, but I really enjoy Drake's vocals on that. I felt like he was going back to like the passion in his voice, as a singer, and just SZA's always gonna cook. So yeah, I really like that. Another song with SZA on it. There's this artist I really enjoy named Gene Dawson. He's ventured into so many different genres, so I don't really know how to define him. He's made like pop rock, like he's blended hip hop in with it. He's made just straight like pop music. So yeah, but this song he has with SZA called No Seasons, that was like my like fall song, and I completely forgot about it until now. I got to put this back on. But No Seasons by Gene Dawson, it's about seasons, and kind of how there is no seasons in California, but the song captures like that sad fall vibe like perfectly. The way it just builds up, it has like a nice flute in it. I think that's a great fall instrument. And yeah, definitely check that song out if you haven't. I enjoy it a lot. SZA, any song with SZA, you can't really go wrong.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, I know that SZA, even if Gene Dawson's bad, which I'm not saying he will be, but I'm like, even if Gene Dawson's bad, I know
SZA's on it. Yeah.
SZA will go out and perform.
Yeah, and I think they had like so much chemistry together on their collab. And it's weird. I don't know how they know each other. I don't know if it's just like a paid feature type thing, but it felt pretty genuine, their chemistry on that. So good song.
Speaking of SZA chemistry, I feel like GNX too is another fall. It just reminds me of, I think it was November last year when it dropped, right?
Was it?
I think so. I remember I had a wedding that I was going to that weekend when it dropped, and just driving home listening to GNX through twice, because it was just so. It was just a good fall album. I mean,
oh yeah, it was November 22nd.
Yeah, Gloria. Obviously, I really loved Luther when it first came out. I think that's a great fall song. I haven't listened to that in a while.
GNX is a very nice album listen. There's no filler. It's just pretty much straight good songs, you know.
Until you get to TV off, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Listen, the first half of that song I still really like. As soon as you start screaming mustard, it kind of kills it for me now. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
I like Dodger Blue off that album.
Oh yeah,
is really good.
Yeah, that's more of a summer song. I think
that's.
I listen to
fair.
Dodger Blue a lot during the summer.
I just think that whole album for me has that fall vibe.
Definitely though.
Really the experience of seeing that album come out is unmatched, I think. I think that was the most excited I've been in a long time.
Yeah.
Just seeing that trailer drop. Speaking of unreleased music, the trailer drops with a song that still hasn't come out. And you're like, what is this? GNX? What's going on? I thought it was a teaser for something coming months down the line. Then all of a sudden a whole album drops. I just out of nowhere. Man, that was such a crazy feeling. I was in the room with my roommate, and I just screamed Kendrick dropped.
Yeah.
And he's another song. I was no, a whole album from Kendrick Lamar just came out. And yeah, just with albums from him being so coveted, and he only drops every 5 years or something. Just getting one of those out of nowhere was a crazy feeling.
Yeah, it caught me so off guard. I think I just woke up and I look at Snapchat and someone posted, "Oh, what a good album from Kendrick." I was like, "An album?" And I went and listened to it, and I just sat in bed listening to it, and yeah, it was a great experience when it first dropped. I think that's definitely up there with one of my favorites. I think the Tyler one, Chromacopia, was another good experience when it first dropped for me. And this isn't a good experience when it first dropped, but another fall classic I can't believe we mentioned or haven't mentioned was Damn.
Oh yeah,
I
true.
feel like there's so many good fall songs.
Absolutely.
I mean, Love is one of the best chill. I feel like that's the essential of the fall. It's that chill vibe. You listen to a chill song when it's late during the summer, but most of the time you're kind of going for energy. You're not really listening to chill as much. Whereas fall, it's a lot more of that chill. It's not the completely I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like a day. Yeah. During the middle of the day, which is the summer, you're going to be energetic. You're going to have that energy to just constantly listen to whatever you want. Fall is the late afternoon, 7, 8 o'clock, where you're starting to get a little tired. It's been a long day, but you still have some energy. So you throw on some of that. And then once it hits I don't know, it depends on what time you go to bed. But for me, probably 11 p.m. That's when I'm okay. And it's just you completely, and that's winter. And I think Damn is just such a good 7, 8 o'clock album.
I agree.
You get to hear Love, you get to hear Duckworth, you get to hear, I don't know, what are some other ones
stuff that slowed vibe, I think fits that perfectly. Feel, Pride, Lust, that whole album I think fits that really, really well. And this came out in April, so I don't know. Sometimes people drop an album, it doesn't fit the time they dropped it perfectly, and I think that's fine. People make whatever they will out of music.
Yeah, definitely. And I think those albums in the 2010s, I don't know, I'm assuming for people that listen to them right away, it probably fits the time more.
Yeah, but I wasn't into hip hop back then.
I wasn't into music too that young. In general. Yeah,
too young, man.
I wasn't sitting there oh, Kendrick just dropped, I have to listen. I would hear Loyalty on the radio.
2017, I was probably what? How long ago was that?
That was probably when we were in 6th grade.
So probably 13 or something. Yeah, I don't think I would have appreciated Damn by Kendrick Lamar when I was 13.
No,
At
no.
least, I mean, I'm sure there are 13-year-olds that would appreciate it, but back then, I don't know what I was listening to, like Cake by the Ocean or something.
Literally, bro. I was listening to just whatever the radio station was playing.
Imagine Dragons or something.
Yeah, I feel like that's when I first started listening to music, but I like Young Gravy when I first started listening to music. I listened to a lot of Young Gravy.
That was a lot of Young Gravy?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Like that was in 6th and 7th grade.
6th and 7th grade.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like my brother showed me one of his songs, and like I was like, oh, I really liked how he like sampled the old music for his beats. Like, I think he's a terrible artist now, but I'm always impressed by his beat selection. Like I'm like, okay, that's a cool song to sample. Like, all right. And I think I just liked that, and I had no experience with any other kind of rap music other than that. And like, I don't know, I listened to like X and like Trippie Redd and stuff, but nothing that would make me realize, wow, this is a joke.
I didn't get into hip hop until like 2020. So I never even listened to artists like Juice WRLD and like X. Like I wasn't around for their eras. I started with like Childish Gambino and like found like Kanye through him, and then found everyone else through Kanye. I remember the way I found Travis Scott was I was like looking up, like someone had made a post. They're like, what are other songs that are like another artist like Runaway by Kanye? Because Runaway has this reputation as like Kanye's like magnum opus type song. I don't think it's his best song, but I can see why people say it. It's a very I don't know what the word is. It's like kind of like an it song. Like it has something very special about it that I think like stands out in the rest of his catalog. But anyway, people were asking like, what's another song that's like this artist Runaway? And someone had said like 90210 is Travis Scott's Runaway. Yeah. By the way, another great fall song off of Rodeo. But they're like, 90210 is Travis Scott's Runaway. And so I found Travis Scott through that. So that was kind of my like pipeline for hip hop. And so only really now in like the past like couple 2 or 3 years, like I've been like actively like following hip hop and appreciating everything that's coming out. And I still think like there's things that come out that I don't appreciate to their full potential because I don't have like the length of time committed to hip hop that so many other people do. Like I'll see like even like the new Clips album. Like I'm sure for so many people that were like around like listening to music back when in their prime, like that was such a huge moment. For me, I mean I love Pusha T. I was like, new Pusha T music. I had no idea, like no Malice really. Like I wasn't like a fan of him per se. So like, yeah, it's all about like context and when you grew up and stuff. I just think the more time you spend with music, the more you come to appreciate
I feel
all
like
the new stuff that comes out.
Clips dropping is going to be my reaction like to the old heads was like when 1629 drops by with Cardi and Uzi and like
in like 30 years when that happens.
Like, what nephew? 1629 finally dropped?
They're gonna be like, what is that?
They won't have a clue.
They won't understand.
Yeah, that's gonna be like, old head central. We're all gonna text my high school friends and be like, yo, 1629 finally dropped.
Yeah.
And just see what happens. But no, I agree. I think that like, I mean, at the end of the day, every music taste is different. But like when I watch someone like Fantano review an album, obviously I don't agree with a lot of things that he says, but like he's listened to so much more music than I have ever even like processed, you know? So like, of course we're gonna have different rankings because I mean he's experienced stuff that's probably a lot better than what I've listened to that might be some of my favorite songs. And I think that all relates. So, but it's all about like, I mean, you craft your own taste. So
for sure, it's just about like what you're exposed to. Like as a kid, like if you're exposed to really bad music, you're gonna think like that is amazing music. Like, and you think like you hear other things, and you're gonna be like, that's terrible. Like that's how I was. Like it took me a while to like transition out of music that's just straight up bad. Like there's no like artistic value behind it just because it was stimulating for my young brain. So like if I ever have kids, like, you know, I'm gonna be putting them on to good music from the get-go.
You gotta teach them like self-control on the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, newborn, here's this.
I'm gonna let them listen to what they want, but I am going to, in the car, I'm gonna be playing quality stuff and explaining to them why it's so good.
Yeah. I'm sure that's what like so many dads have said. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna teach my youngin some classics.
Yeah.
And I mean, it does work.
Yeah, it does.
I'll say that. Like so many people have been like one of my best friends, his dad was a big Mac Miller fan, like in that kids era.
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, like I remember my dad used to play like Nikes on my feet and the spins and stuff. And I mean, now he's a huge Mac Miller fan. So
And I feel like people have so much nostalgia for the music that their parents play them.
Yeah.
As long as it's good. And I feel like usually people's parents have good music taste. I think that's like a parent thing.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's why like some people grow up loving country and hating rap because their parents told them, rap stinks.
Definitely.
Country's where it's at. And they grew up listening to country. For me, my parents didn't really like, they just threw on the radio when I was in the car, and through that, like, it was actually my cousins that I started liking rap through.
Yeah.
Because they showed me like Jumpman by Drake and Future was I've probably mentioned this before, but that was the first rap song I ever liked. And it was because like my cousins showed it to me one day and I was like, whoa, this is good. And so it's just, it's interesting to see where people get their roots from.
Yeah, for me it was definitely like like Childish Gambino was like a transitionary period for me between like the cringe pop music and like rap music. I think he's a great middle ground there, like stuff with like camp and like because of the internet. Like the lyrics are kind of cringe sometimes, but there's definitely like a lot of value there, and especially in like the hip hop production and like rapping and stuff. And yeah, like it definitely took a while for if you don't listen to rap, like just your taste changing to like enjoy that stuff and like enjoy the intricacies of it. It's just so different than like normal like singing music. And so it's really just two entire different categories of music. And so I think it's like crazy when people like just lump like rap as a whole thing, because it's not like at the Grammys you have like here's this best singing album and here's the best rap album. Like there's a million singing categories and then one rap category.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
there should be best lyrical, best trap, but at the end of the day, the people who run that don't care.
Yeah,
they don't. All right. Anything else you want to mention before we end this?
I don't know. I mean, I've been enjoying the fall. I've been enjoying the vibe, all this music. I guess has there been anything new that you've listened to recently that you've enjoyed?
I don't really think so. Not from what I can remember. I mean, there was a couple of songs off that Thug album that I enjoyed, but I feel like recently I've just been kind of going back and listening to old. Like I've been really into Swang by Ray Swemmerd recently.
Nice.
I don't know why, it just randomly came up in my mind. And
you know, what's another unreleased song I have is the Travis Scott version of that.
Yeah, that's what made me. I was listening to like a best unreleased versions, and it was that.
Yep.
And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that song.
Great song.
I've been listening to. Let's see. I've been listening to a lot of like that old Young Money, like You by Lloyd and Lil Wayne, and Bedrock by Young Money. So that type of stuff for some reason has been hitting for me. So I don't know.
Nice. Stuff I listened to for the first time recently. I don't know if this is blasphemy or whatever, but I listened to Pretty Girls Like Trap Music for the first time. I know I feel like it's known as like one of the trap Bibles or whatever. It just never crossed my radar until fairly recently. But yeah, Pretty Girls Like Trap Music by 2 Chainz. Pretty crazy album.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's really good. Have you not heard it?
No, I don't think. I used to, on Pandora, I used to have It's a Vibe pop up, and I would listen to it then when I was in 5th grade, but I never really like fully tapped in, you know?
Definitely tap in. It's a great album.
All right, I will. I actually am a fan of 2 Chainz.
He's good.
He does a good job.
But yeah, also shout out to Infinite by Mobb Deep that came out recently. For your old school rap fans, great album. Very, very consistent throughout. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for today's episode. I'm Gabe Schall.
I'm Havrilla.
And we'll see you next week.